Sam here, and today we are diving into possibly the most annoying question for someone with chronic pain. On a scale from 1 to 10, how would you rate your pain? The only time that question is ever entertaining is when a huggable white robot is asking it. Welcome to the Bare Minimum Health Podcast. Here we live, despite chronic pain and chronic fatigue, by reclaiming the bare minimum. We know that the bare minimum is the stuff that makes the biggest impact. The bare minimum is enough. Following your own definition of the bare minimum health plan allows you to feel your best and bring your best to the rest of your life. Join the journey and uncover your unique path to wellness. Pain is not something that can be measured by anyone outside of your brain. Unlike something like body temperature, your healthcare team has no clue how you feel unless you tell them. The pain scale is an attempt to make something immeasurable measurable. So, how do you figure out what number to tell them? You need to define what every number means. As someone with chronic pain, you get used to a certain level of pain. You're probably never at a 0. You might not even remember what a 0 feels like. So when your baseline is higher, how do you actually describe the pain level that you're feeling? The best thing you could do is define for you what each number means. Sharing this information along with the actual number also gives your healthcare team a lot more information. They know what you actually mean when you say you're at a 3 or a 7. It gives more depth to your answer and lets them in to your experience. More details in this case are definitely useful. But how do you do that? I figured out my definitions for the numbers when I was in a major flare, just before I started medications, and I was struggling to figure out how to pick my number for myself. I also knew that I, along with most people with chronic pain, have a tendency to downplay how I'm feeling. So having concrete definitions was really helpful in preventing that and helped me be more consistent in how I was defining those numbers day to day, week to week. So here's how I define 0 through 10. 0 is no pain, and that usually never happens. 1 is discomfort, and I only really notice that if I actively pay attention. At any time of the day of the week, if I pay attention to my feet, they're probably kind of burning. If I pay attention to my hands, they're probably stiff. There's always going to be something at a 1, but most of the time it doesn't even come to my attention unless I actively pay attention to that part of my body. 2 is uncomfortable but ignorable. So my body might periodically remind me of the discomfort, but I can ignore it and I don't need to change any plans or adapt how I do things. 3 would be light pain. It's somewhat distracting, but I can ignore it and sort of push through. I might take things easy if that feels appropriate, but I don't have to change any plans. 4 would be pay attention pain. So this is the point where I start to pay more attention to the pain and determining, like, is it the muscles, the tendons, the joints? How can I make it better? So I start to treat the pain by adjusting my plans, adapting how I'm working, stretching or exercising, or resting, or taking medication. It all depends on why I'm feeling the pain, what kind of pain it is, and it's just sort of a intuitive response to how I'm feeling. At a 5, this is where I need medication. So if I haven't started taking anything yet, I will at this point. I'm definitely starting to change some of my plans, but I am still able to work and push through the pain a bit if I need to. 6 is the warning level. So at this stage, it's where I need to take active steps to manage my pain. I need to take more proactive rest. I'm not going to be pushing through as much because if I don't take care of it at this level, it's going to spiral. 7 is kind of borderline. I can do some things, but my ability is significantly impacted. I'm not going to be able to be as active. I won't be able to stand as long. I'm not going to be able to work out, and my thinking is slowing down. At 8, this would be challenging, to put it politely. At this stage, I can only really hold one sentence or less in my head at one time, which makes conversations really difficult. I'm talking to someone, and by the time they finish talking, I've forgotten what they started out saying. I'm not going to be cooking or doing dishes. Brushing my teeth is going to take effort to do. So it goes without saying, I will not be working if I'm at an 8. 9 is non functional. I'm not thinking logically. I'm going to struggle to make simple decisions, probably going to be very emotional. There's very little space in my brain for anything but the pain. And at this stage, I probably don't even know what I need. The pain is just so loud. And then 10 would be intolerable. You might have noticed something in those descriptions. I define each number by its impact. Because here's the real challenge: your experience of pain is not static. When you focus on it, the pain becomes bigger. When you're not actively in the moment with the pain seems like it wasn't that bad. You got through it, it was fine. But it's harder to ignore and easier to describe the impact that the pain is having on you. This impact is also far more relevant to your healthcare providers, particularly those who don't have a lived experience of what chronic pain is and what it can do to a person. It makes it easier to advocate for yourself when you can describe your pain in terms of the ways that you have had to change your life to accommodate your pain or the things that you're not able to do. When you live with chronic pain, you get used to experiencing a certain level of pain. The actual experience of pain is unpleasant, don't get me wrong, but as long as it's not affecting my ability to do the things that I want to do, I can deal with it. It's when the pain starts to impact my life and how I am interacting with the world and the things I'm able to do. That's when it becomes a problem. And we need to have a full chest of tools to deal with that pain. And one of those tools is the pain scale to be able to discuss with your doctor that this is getting worse over time, or this is what I'm having to do in order to function at all, but I'm not able to do X, Y, and Z. And you can advocate for yourself a lot better in cases where you may have healthcare providers who simply don't understand pain. So now it's your turn to take this and run with it. Grab a piece of paper and pen or open the Notes app and think about how you would define each number, each level. What are some points of reference that you can make for each number on the scale? And if you want even more of this, even more support on your journey, make sure you're following along with this podcast and check the description or show notes to get the free Bare Minimum Health Plan ebook. You'll also find more information there if you're ready to commit to uncovering your unique path to wellness with the Anti-Inflammatory Path to Wellness course, which is currently on sale as I speak. So be sure to check that out soon if you're interested. Until next time, take care and keep thriving.